Hi, this is Maddie with Niche Pilates Studio, and today we will be going through a reformer flow with that foot bar up. It's gonna be one knob away from your back one. So about your third knob away from that wooden platform here, and you're gonna lock it into place so it's upright. And then once you have that foot bar set, making sure it's nice and secure, you want to have one yellow spring on to start. And then we will come towards the front of our reformer, towards the wooden platform, to do a warm up through our spine here. So start by taking a deep breath in through the nose, filling up all four sides of the rib cage, and then exhale like you're blowing out through a straw. Feel the rib cage knit in. Deep breath in through the nose. This time you reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, reach forward. Let your hands come to that carriage. Press the carriage away, flattening out the spine. And then inhale, roll it in round through the spine. Exhale, flattening the spine out, pressing the carriage away. Inhale, scooping the core, rounding the spine, drawing it in. We'll take 3 like this, and then we're gonna reverse the direction. Flattening on the way out, rounding on the way in. Feet are firmly planted here. And then the next time you press your carriage out, keep the spine flat. Draw it in as much as you can, keeping the spine flat, and then round forward, press your carriage out. Flattening the spine on the way in, rounding on the way out. Just getting some nice movement here on the spine, maybe even rocking forward and back from your toes to your heels. We'll take 2 like this. And then after your next one, let it come all the way into dog. We're gonna reach down and add 1 red spring onto your yellow. Once you have a red and yellow spring on, we will come to lay down on our carriage here. So your feet are gonna be on the wooden platform. Your head is going to be resting on the headrest, and your shoulders are gonna be up against where your shoulder blocks used to be. Place your hands down evenly on each side of the carriage and let your gaze go up towards the ceiling above you. Our feet are hip width distance apart here. We're gonna work through some bridging. So take an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, picture tilting your pelvis back, drawing your belly button towards your spine, letting your tailbone float up. Slowly lift up through your tailbone, low back, mid back, lifting all the way up towards your bridge, creating that long line from the shoulders, hips, out through the knees. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, unravel all the way down. Very last, you rock forward onto your tailbone. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, tilting back, lifting up your tailbone, low back, mid back, inhaling at the top, and then exhale, let it roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Very last, you rock all the way forward. We'll take a couple more like this. For this next one here, you have the option to keep your hands down, or if you felt good, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing towards each other, working through that articulation. Keeping our heels heavy on that wooden platform here. Slow and steady to start off, shoulders strong in the socket. Energies reaching out through the fingertips towards the ceiling. Shoulders are reaching down towards the carriage. Next time we come to the bridge, we're gonna pause here. Keep your hip points even, keep your chest open. Option to keep your hands up. Slowly press away from that wooden platform, sending yourself back, and then lift your hips up as you come in. Starting to feel some heat in the hamstrings and glutes here. Slow and steady. Saying hi to our foot bar as we go back here, drawing the belly button towards the spine, link through the tailbone. Making sure we're not rocking to the inside or the outside of our feet, but we're keeping them planted down, and our knees are reaching forward, our hips are reaching up a little bit higher as we come in. We'll take 3 like that. For 2. Your last one here, slowly let yourself come all the way and come all the way up your highest bridge yet, drawing the belly button towards the spine, knitting the rib cage in. Pause here. Lower your hips down just an inch, squeeze the glute, lift an inch. Inhale to lower, exhale lift. Option for your hands down, more support at any point. We'll take 3 like this, keeping the carriage as still as you can for this one. For 2, last one, squeezing the glute at the top, and then your slowest roll down yet. Upper back, middle back. Very last, you rock forward onto your tailbone. Nice work. Go ahead and rock your knees from side to side here, releasing that low back and tailbone. Our legs are gonna meet in a tabletop position next. So our knees are stacked over our hips, feet are in line with the knees. Keeping the head heavy here, we're gonna work through single leg extensions. Exhale, you reach your right leg long. Inhale, you draw that leg in. Exhale, your left leg extends long. Few things we wanna check in here as we begin. When your leg is moving away, you wanna find that spot in height where you're knitting the rib cage in, you're keeping your core engaged, you're not feeling like your low back is leaving the mat here. So you're keeping an even amount of space, maintaining your natural curve of the low back. You wanna lower your leg enough where you feel your core engaged, but not too low to where you're rocking forward. So finding that sweet spot in the middle around your 45-degree. Exhaling as you reach out, inhale as you draw it in. Keeping that leg that's not moving really still, that knee stays over the hip. 2 more on each side. Last one each side. Bring your knees back in. This time I want you to glue those legs together. Feel your inner thighs engage. Exhale, your legs reach out as one. Inhale, you bend the knees to draw it in. Exhale to extend. Inhale to bend. We have 4 like this, and then your next time your legs come out, we're gonna be holding them long into. Last one, hold your legs long. Pause here, keep the tailbone heavy. Exhale, lift your legs up towards the ceiling. Inhale, flex your feet, lower down to 45. Exhale to point and lift. Inhale to flex and lower. This range of motion here doesn't have to be much. Small, controlled movements. Moving with intention, almost like you're moving your feet through water here. 2 like this, then we hug those knees in towards the chest. Last one, hug your knees in, give yourself a nice rock from side to side. Legs come back to a tabletop position. This time our arms are gonna reach back behind us for that foot bar. Once you have that foot bar, have your hands come a little bit wider than your shoulders. Palms will start facing down towards the floor. Legs are in tabletop. Inhale through the nose to prepare. Exhale, you're gonna pull yourself in like you're doing a pull-up here, slow and steady, and then inhale, straighten the arms back out. Trying to keep the tension in the springs the whole time here, so not letting yourself pull back fast and hit that stopper, but we're keeping the tension, moving the same pace in both directions, maybe even a little bit slower on the way back. Holding that spot where your chin's over the foot bar for an extra second to feel that work. Feel your core stabilizing you, holding those legs in place, your quads are working, biceps and shoulders. Wrists are nice and strong here. We'll take 3 like these. For 2. Next time you find that pull up, we're gonna hold it here. Pausing here, we find those single leg extensions. Exhale, you reach your right leg out. Inhale to draw it in. Exhale, your left leg reaches out. We have 3 on each side. Can you lift up a little bit more here? Finding that combination. Last one each side. Bring your legs back together. Slowly let the carriage dock. In between, you can rock your feet from side to side here. We're gonna switch. Our palms are gonna come so they're facing up towards the ceiling this time. Again, a little bit wider than our shoulders. Our legs come back to tabletop. Deep breath in, make sure those elbows are in line with your palms. On the exhale, you're gonna find yourself pulling in. Inhale, slowly return down. Exhale as you press in. Inhale as you return. Slow and steady here. Maybe you're holding it again for that extra second when your chin goes over your chest. If it feels hard to maintain this tabletop position, you can draw your knees in a little bit closer here or let your feet fall to release that tension, but ideally keeping it nice and strong and stable the whole time so our core is staying active as we're working through our upper body. We're gonna take 3 and then we're gonna find that hold to add in some core work. In 2, feeling this a little bit more on the backs of the arms, the triceps. Last one, we hold in. Glue your legs together. Exhale, reach your legs out long together. Inhale to return. Exhale to extend. Inhale to bend. Maybe you're kicking your legs up a little higher here, finding support of the low back for 3, 2. Last one. Bring your legs to tabletop. Straighten your legs out. In between, take what you need here. Rock those knees from side to side. For our next one, our arms are going on either side of the foot bar, a little bit closer down towards the rails with your palms facing towards each other here. We have a nice wide stance with those arms. We wanna make sure that our shoulders are relaxed away from our ears, our legs come back to tabletop. Last one here, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, we're gonna pull up, feeling our chin lift almost underneath that foot bar and then slowly let it return. Exhale to pull yourself in, inhale to return. Noticing that side body engagement with this movement here. Your gaze stays at the ceiling, you're keeping space between the chin and the chest, trying to release any tension in the facial muscles, the neck. Using that breath to help you out, exhale, blowing through that imaginary straw to help really pull you in, holding it for that full exhale, and then inhale, how slowly can you return? 3 like this, then we find that hold. For 2. Last one here, we're gonna hold it in. Pausing here, tailbone's heavy, exhale, reach your legs out long. Deep breath in, exhale, you lift your legs towards the ceiling pointing, you lower to flex. Exhale to lift and point, inhale, lower flex. Can you lift yourself up an inch more? For 3, keep an eye on that low back for 2. Your last one, deep breath. Bend your knees in, straighten your arms. This time, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice rock from side to side. Very slowly, we're gonna go ahead and roll on up here. As we roll up, we're gonna be adjusting our springs by taking that red spring off. So we'll just have one yellow spring on. And then we come to an all fours position here with our hands on the wooden platform. If you have a black safety strap, you can tuck it underneath there. And then our knees on the carriage. Pausing here. We wanna make sure our palms are right under our shoulders. Eyes of the elbow are almost out at about 45 degrees. Pressing up and away, lifting that belly button towards the spine. Deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, drop your knees back behind your hips, lifting your core up. We're gonna work into a modified plank. On your next exhale, you're gonna press away from that wooden platform, sending the carriage back to the point that you feel your core engage. Take an inhale there, squeezing the glutes. Exhale, slowly let it come back in. Restack your shoulders over the wrists. Inhale to prepare. Exhaling as you take it out long, imagining that long line between the crown of the head, shoulders, tailbone, knees. Deep breath in here. Exhale, slowly let it come back in. 2 more like that, adjustments where we need. Making sure we're protecting that scapula, pressing between the shoulder blades, not dumping into the low back, but engaging the core, squeezing the glutes, holding it back for that extra second, taking that full inhale, and then exhale, drawing it in. Last one like this. Find that hold, take a nice inhale, and then exhale, draw it all the way in, send the hips towards the heels. Let your arms come forward, take a child's pose here, actively pressing your hands in, feeling a release of the chest. And then slowly coming up. This time, option to keep your knees down, or if you felt good for that last round, we can curl our toes under, floating our knees up, coming into that full plank. Take a deep breath into the nose, prepare. Exhale, we hover our knees up, press the carriage back long. find your plank here. Inhale to bend your knees, drawing the carriage in. Exhale to straighten, taking it out. We're on a yellow spring here, so it's nice and light. You're controlling the pace in both directions. We have 3 like this, and then we find our hold. Into, gazes down at the floor in front of you. Last one, you find your hold. Your shoulders go back a few inches, forward a few inches. We're only here for 3, 2, last one, let it come all the way in. Drop your knees down. This time, hands come behind the back. Find a nice chest opener, lifting the gaze, relaxing the shoulders. You can shake the head yes and no here. And then very slowly, we are going to be coming to stand here. Right foot on the wooden platform, left foot on the carriage. As we get set up, just make sure that our feet are parallel to each other, shoulders are relaxed, our front and our back hip point are even. So if you feel like taking a few pelvic rocks forward and back here, finding that neutral, starting with side splits, keeping our legs long, keeping the hips in the center. Inhale, you let your carriage go out long, and then exhale, feel your inner thighs work to draw it all the way in. Inhale, we'll open our arms up to a T, reaching the fingertips in opposite directions. Exhale, hands come by the side. Working through this here, imagining someone pulling a string from the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Moving between 2 panels of glass here, keeping ourselves nice and upright. If you notice your knees tend to cave in this position, try pressing on the outside pinky side of your foot to help your knees stay tracking in line. We'll take 3 more like this. Feeling those inner thighs work till that very last point. For 2. Last one. Let it come all the way in. Pause here. We're gonna let the carriage come out about a foot. Your feet are underneath your hips. We're gonna work through a squat hip hinge this time. So on the inhale, find the crease in your hips, keeping the spine long, like you're gonna take an imaginary seat in the chair, holding the carriage as still as you can, and then exhale, come all the way up. Inhale as you lower yourself down. Carriage stays really still here. Exhale, you come up. Options here, arms reach out as you send the hips back. Exhale, you find that T as you come up. Palms face in, you send the tailbone back. Palms face down, you come all the way up. 3 like this. Holding that carriage still for 2. Feeling those glutes as we hinge, quads as we come up. Last one, come all the way up. Let your carriage come all the way in. You're gonna keep your left foot on the carriage, right foot on the wooden platform, but we're gonna turn so we're facing towards the pulleys. As you turn here, your left foot is fully on the carriage, facing towards your pulleys, but your right foot, just the ball of your right foot is on. My right heel is lifted here. Imagine all of the weight on your left foot. Deep breath in, we're gonna find that lunge towards the pulleys, hinging still, bending into the left, straightening the right, and then exhale, stamp that left foot down, pull the carriage back in. Making sure that right hip point is squared with the left, imagining that long line in the spine again, almost like you're looking up and over a cliff, and then drawing it all the way in. Maybe you start to reach your arms out as the carriage goes out, and then hands come by the hips as you come in. Taking 3 like this, using those inner thighs to help stabilize us, feeling our hamstring pull us in on that left side. We have 3 like this. Our working leg is our left leg here. All of the weight's on that leg for 2. Last one, we meet holding our lunge out. Pause here. We all reach our fingertips forward. Deep breath in. We're gonna hinge till our fingertips touch that foot bar. Exhale, we restack the spine. Inhale to hinge. Exhale to draw it back. Hinging forward and restacking for 3. We hold the hinge in 2. Last one, you hold the hinge. Hands pressed together. Inhale, bend your right leg to draw the carriage in. Exhale to straighten it out. We have 3 like this. For 2. Last one. Let your carriage come all the way in. Nice work. In between sides, we're gonna drop down to an all fours position, but first we're gonna add on a blue spring here. So we have one blue, one yellow, and we're just gonna come to an all fours position, taking a cat-cow, exhale, round through the spine. Let the gaze go towards your thighs. Inhale, let the belly drop, gaze lifts. 2 rounds of breath here. And then go ahead, find your neutral spine. Once you're here, your left hand's gonna be on top of where that shoulder block was. Knees are under our hips, we're pressing into our shins. Right hand is gonna come to that foot bar in front of your right shoulder, palm facing down. On the exhale, you're gonna pull yourself in, almost like that foot bar is gonna touch yourself, and then inhale, straighten it out. Exhale to pull in, inhale to return. Options here for springs. This may start to feel heavy fast, especially as we add on here. We can drop down to a blue at any point. Be mindful here of that low back sinking in. Really think about drawing that belly button towards the spine. 3 like this. For 2. Last one, I'm gonna have you hold it in. Pause here, press into your right shin, left hand. Can you reach your left leg out long? Square that hip point down. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. We only have 3. For 2. Last one, bend that knee in, straighten the right arm. Both hands can go to that foot bar, send the tailbone back, press your hands down into that rail. And then we take it straight to the other side. Left hand hooks, right hand comes down, hip points are even, pressing down into those shins. Think about lifting up through the core here. Big exhale, pulling ourselves in. Inhale to slowly return. Exhale to pull, inhale to return. Your gaze is down at that headrest or the well in front of you here. Keeping our shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Think about energy through the crown of the head, reaching for the wall in front of you, tailbones reaching for the wall behind you. Finding that length. We have 3, and then we hold it in. Into. Last one, hold it in. Press into that left shin, right hand. Make sure you're not locking out through that right elbow, your right foot goes back. Keep your hip in line, exhale to lift, inhale to lower for 3, 2. Last one, let that right knee come down. Let the carriage go all the way back. Hands come to the foot bar in front of us. We step our left foot forward, followed by our right. Pausing here. Come up to standing, slow and steady movements. Think about keeping those hip points even. We're back to our squats. Inhale, you send the hips back, reaching the arms forward. Exhale, you come all the way up. We only have 3, then we hold our squat. Slowing it down here. For 2, knees are finding the center of the feet as they reach forward. Last one, we find our hold. We hinge, our hands tap down on the foot bar. We lift our core back up. Inhale to hinge and bend. Exhale, straighten. Think about the spine moving as one here. 3 like this. For 2. Last one, you hinge all the way. Your hands come to that foot bar. Relax the shoulders down. Sending the tailbone back. Chest is open. Exhale to pull your carriage in. Inhale to return. Exhale, your elbows are going straight back. Inhale to straighten. We have 4, then we find that hold. In 3. For 2. Last one, hold it in. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, tailbone drops an inch, lifts an inch. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, straighten the arms, let the carriage dock. Find a forward fold here, shaking out the left and then the right. And then very carefully, we're gonna come to take a step back. We will be adjusting our springs here to 1 yellow spring. Once you have your yellow one, we're setting up for side splits facing that opposite direction. Left foot is heavy on the wooden platform, right foot is on the carriage, hip points are even. Inhale, we let the carriage float out. Exhale, we zip those inner thighs together to draw it in. As we feel comfortable, arms open up towards that T. Exhale, everything comes in. Gaze is forward. Think about finding length through the side body here. Feeling that work through the inner line. 3 like this, then we find that hold. For 2. Last one, we hold it in. Press it out about a foot. We find those squats. Keep the carriage still. Send the hips back like you're sitting in that imaginary chair, and then exhale, pop all the way up. Options to reach your arms forward as you send yourself back, and then open up towards that T as you lower down. Carriage is staying as still as possible here. Even weight on the left and the right. We have 3. For 2. Last one. Big exhale, come all the way up. Let the carriage come all the way in. We're turning so we're facing towards the foot bar. Left toe mound is only on the wooden platform. Right foot is fully on the carriage. Squaring off the hips, deep breath in, finding that bend and hinge, and then exhale, really stamp that right foot down, drawing the carriage all the way back. As you work through this here, you have the options to keep the hands on the hips, making sure our hips are square towards those pulleys. If you want more support, press your hands together, feeling that balance control. Also that option for your fingertips to reach forward as the carriage goes out. Hands come by the hips as you stand upright. Letting the gaze move with you here, returns back to the wall in front of you as you come up, and then lowers down to that carriage and wooden platform meeting at the back side. We have 3 like this, and we hold it out for our hinge. Your right knee staying over that ankle the whole time. For 2, they're traveling together here. Last one, pause here. Deep breath in, you hinge down towards that foot bar. Exhale, you restack the spine. Inhale to hinge. You should actively feel that right glute working as you hinge, quad working as you restack. For 3, we hold the hinge in 2, pressing into all 4 corners of that foot. We hold the hinge, you press your hands together. Bend your left leg only to draw it in. Exhale to straighten it out. We have 4 like this, maybe sinking an inch lower for 3. Last 2. Last one, let it come all the way in. Come all the way up. Both feet go to the wooden platform. Reach down for your carriage. Shake out your legs here. Very carefully, we're gonna take a step off of that wooden platform, and we are going to be adjusting our spring here to just 1 blue spring. If you want a little extra today, you can pop on that yellow at any point to a blue and a yellow. And then we're going to come to sit on our carriage, facing towards our foot bar. As we sit here, you can keep a soft bend in your knees, but your legs are gonna be out long, and you wanna think about stacking your shoulders over your hips, finding length through the spine. Palms will come facing down towards the floor, and your starting position is your shoulders over your hips. On the exhale, you're gonna bend your elbows to draw it in, almost like it's gonna touch your chest. Inhale, slowly let it go out. Exhale to find yourself drawing in. Inhale to return. Can you relax your shoulders down a bit more? Gaze is forward. We're taking 3 like this. Then we're moving into some single arm in 2. Last one, we pause here. Bring your right fingertips behind your head. Straighten that left arm out. Deep breath in, exhale. This time as you pull in, your gaze looks over that left shoulder. Inhale, it returns back in front of you. Exhale, pulling in, finding that rotation from the torso. So we're keeping our hip points forward, making sure that right hip doesn't come up. Just reaching with those obliques, pulling that left side body, and then straightening everything out like you're wringing out the spine here. We'll take 3 like that. For 2. Last one, we pull in, hold the rotation. Exhale, straighten your right arm out towards the pulleys. Inhale, fingertips go back behind the head. Exhale to extend, inhale to bend for 3. Can you pull in an inch more for 2? Last one, straighten the arm out. Right hand finds the foot bar. Forward fold here, deep belly breath in through the nose. Exhale, letting it go out through the mouth. Both hands come back on, relax your shoulders down. Left fingertips come behind the head. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Find that row in, your gaze looks over your right shoulder this time. Inhale, you straighten out the arm, your gaze goes forward. As you work through this here, we should feel the back muscle in our arm, our tricep muscle working hard. Our wrist is strong, so the top of our hand is in line with our forearm. Making sure that elbow's not coming in, but we're keeping the chest open. Letting the spine move as one. That includes the back of the head and our neck here. We take 4 like this. For 3. We're gonna find our hold into. Last one, we hold it. Exhale, reach your left fingertips out towards your pulleys. Inhale, draw it in. Can you hold it an inch more for 3? For 2. Last one, reach your fingertips out, your chest opens up. Hands come back to the foot bar. Quick shake out of our wrist here in between. Shake the head, yes and no. Same series, this time our palms will face up towards the ceiling this time. So you're gonna have your hands come a little bit wider than your shoulders. Our starting point is our shoulders stacked over our hips. Exhale, you find your carriage moving in towards the foot bar. Inhale, how slow and controlled can you let it go back? Exhale to pull in. Inhale to return. Nice work here. Notice how this time the muscle group has changed. Now we're working the biceps, front of the arms. We'll take 4 like this. Then we're gonna get into some single arm work. If your hamstrings feel tight at any point, feel free to add more of a bend in those legs. 2 more with both arms, enjoying them both on the foot bar. And then next time you pull in, pause here. Left hand only comes, right fingertips come behind the head. You straighten the arm out. Exhale, make sure the left and the right shoulder are staying in line. You find that row and your gaze looks over the left shoulder. Inhale, you return, the gaze goes forward. Exhale to pull in, rotate, inhale, straighten it out, pull back. Nice work, we have 3 like this. For 2. Last one, we hold and exhale, reach those fingertips long. Inhale to draw it back for 4, 3, 2. Last one, straighten the arm out. Let your carriage go all the way back. Last one here, right palm's gonna face up. Left fingertips come behind the head. Make sure that right shoulder's relaxing down, keeping it in line with the left. Exhale, your elbow comes in by your rib cage. Your gaze looks over that right shoulder. Inhale to return, your gaze goes forward. Exhale to pull in, letting your gaze go over. Inhale to slowly let it go back. Feeling that right bicep working strong. Can we sit up a little bit taller here? Picturing our back up against a wall. 3 like this, then we find that hold. In 2. Last one, we find our hold. Exhale, your left fingertips reach out. Inhale, they tap in. Breathing through it here, last 3. For 2. Last one, reach those fingertips long. Extend your right arm long. This time, let that carriage fully come to dock. We're gonna reach towards our calves here, letting our hands hook, and then just find a forward fold. You can flex and point the feet, maybe reaching those arms forward as well. And then very slowly restacking the spine. This time, we're gonna scooch our seat up. So our tailbone is gonna come closer towards where those shoulder blocks were. And as we come up here, we're gonna come to lay on our back. So you can let your calves rest over that foot bar as we get set up, and we're going to come to lay all the way down here, letting our head rest heavy. Once you're there, I want the carriage to start docked and your feet to start on that foot bar hooked around the back of your ankles. We're gonna keep our feet heavy for this first one, but the fingertips are gonna come behind the head, letting the elbows go wide. Take a deep inhale in. Feel that expansion to all four sides of the rib cage. And then exhale. This time we're getting into some upper abdominal work. Lift up through head, neck, and shoulders like someone's pulling a string from the top of your chest towards where the ceiling and wall meet. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale as you lower down. Slow and controlled here, keeping those elbows wide. If you start to feel tension in the head, really press your hands into the back of the head. Head presses into the hands. 3 like this. For 2. Last one, big exhale, finding that lift. Inhale, slowly lowering it down. This time, we're going to bring in a little bit of hamstring work. So deep breath in, exhale, find your lift. Pause there. Press your back of the heels in towards that foot bar. Draw the carriage in an inch, out an inch. Slow and controlled belly buttons towards the spine. Slow and controlled here. We only have 4 like this. If this feels too tight in your hamstrings, just bring your legs up to a tabletop position. Work through that upper abdominal hold. For 2. Last one, pull it in. Hold it in. Your fingertips go long. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift up through head, neck, and shoulders. Can your fingertips reach for your toes? Inhale, lower down, let the carriage go back. Exhale to pull in, lifting up. Inhale to lowering down, carriage goes back. 3 like that. Maybe you're pressing into those feet to help you lift a little bit higher. For 2. Last one, big exhale, big press, and then inhale, slowly lower it all the way down. Let your carriage dock hug your knees in towards your chest here and give yourself a nice rock from side to side. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, and then on that exhale, slightly tuck the chin in towards the chest. Hands can come on either side, rolling all the way up towards a seated position. We will adjust our springs here to 1 yellow spring. So switching towards that 1 light spring, and then face back towards your foot bar. Knees are gonna go right where those shoulder blocks were. Hands come towards your foot bar, and then stack your shoulders over your wrist. Curling the toes under here, start to feel heavy in your hands. Take a deep belly breath in through the nose, and then on the exhale, press into your toes, find your plank position. Pause here, squeezing through the glutes, softening the rib cage, gaze is looking down at the well. This is where we're gonna feel those lower abdominals working. Take that same deep breath in through the nose. This time on the exhale, can you bend your knees to draw the carriage in? And then inhale, slowly let it go out. Exhale, you pull your knees in. Inhale to let it return. Option to just find your hold of the plank here. Using that exhale, scooping those lower abdominals, feeling your knees draw in, feeling those quads help you out here. Can everything else stay still as you work through this? Actively pressing that foot bar away, shoulders are relaxed away from the ears, releasing the tension in the neck. We'll take 3 like this. For 2. Last one. Hold it in, little pulses, in an inch, out an inch. Breathing through it for 4. Softening the elbows for 3, 2. Last one, send that carriage all the way back to dog. Lift the hips towards the ceiling. Find a nice stretch here, pedaling out the legs. Gaze goes down towards the thighs. And then we turn so our left hand comes to the center of the foot bar, and then we set up for a side plank in this position. You have the option to drop down towards your knees as we work through this for more support. For that challenge, our hand comes under the shoulder, legs stack up. Pausing here, chest is open, shoulders are relaxed, hips are stacked. Start by reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, thread the needle. Your gaze follows that movement as you work through this. Lifting up out of that left armpit here. Using that breath to sync with the movement. We'll take 3 like this. For 2. Last one. And then open your arm back up towards the ceiling. Pause here. Deep breath in, exhale, squeeze your outer right glute. Let that leg float up, and then inhale, let it lower down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Nice and strong here. We have 4 like this. For 3. For 2. Last one. Right foot comes down, right hand comes down. You send the hips towards the heels, finding that stretch again. We're gonna take it right to the other side here. Right hand comes towards the center. We restack our hips. Again, you have the option to drop that knee down. Legs go out long, arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you thread the needle, your right hand goes underneath. Inhale, you open back up. Exhale as you thread the needle. Inhale, gaze follows that movement, actively pressing the foot bar away as you work through this here, softening through that right elbow. 2 more like this. Right shoulder stays strong in the socket. After this last one, we're gonna open up, hold here, squeezing your outer left glute. Can you float that leg up? Tapping it back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Breathing through it. We have 3. For 2. Last one. Left foot, left arm come down. This time, both knees drop down. Send your hips towards your heels. Find a child's pose here. Letting your chest fall towards the carriage. We've made it to stretching. That left hand's gonna come towards the left side of the foot bar. Right hand comes on top and then pull that right shoulder heavy towards the carriage, letting your chest and head fall. Maybe breathing a little bit deeper in towards that right side body. And then on that next exhale, right hand walks over to the foot bar, followed by the left. Pull that left shoulder down towards the carriage. And then slowly coming back, scoot your seat up a little bit here so your knees come closer towards the edge of the carriage. Your elbows hook over the foot bar, knees go wide, hands press together. Feel a nice opening in the chest here. Letting that head and chest fall, feeling the shoulder blades come together. 1 round of breath here, breathing into all 4 sides of that rib cage, feeling the back body expand. And then slowly rolling up. Last bit of stretching, we're gonna come off towards the side of our reformer here. So very slowly coming up to stand, reach for that long loop that's on the ground here. We're gonna take it into the left hand, and then we're just gonna add a red spring on here to give us a little bit more resistance for this one. Take a step away. The further you step away, the more you're gonna feel that resistance. Right ear drops towards the right shoulder, and start to almost have your weight go towards your right foot, leaning away from that pulley. You're gonna feel the stretch in the side of the neck into the shoulder. If you wanna deepen the stretch, right hand gently presses down on the top of your head, mostly just letting gravity do the work here. Option to have that palm face up towards the ceiling and then face down towards the floor, noticing how the stretch changes. And then slowly restacking that head in line with the spine. This time, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Option again for the right hand to gently press down the back of the head. Again, mostly letting gravity do the work here. This time, feeling a stretch in the traps. Using that exhale to relax a little bit deeper in towards the stretch. Maybe challenging our muscle memory a bit here. And then slowly restacking the head. Both hands hold that long loop and take another step away, increasing that resistance. Send your tailbone back here, letting your gaze lower. Feel your shoulder, your scapula being pulled forward here. Nice stretch for those shoulder blades. One round of breath here. If you want more resistance, take a step back, a little bit less, step towards your pulley. And then slowly restacking the spine, step out of that tension. We'll take those stretches on the other side. Right hand holds the long loop. We face in that opposite direction. Left ear drops towards the left shoulder. Option for the left hand, find that gentle press. Maybe that right palm starts to face up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. Slowly restacking the head, tuck the chin in towards the chest, gently pressing the head down. Feeling that nice stretch in the traps. We slowly restack the spine. Last stretch here, both hands come behind the back, left foot steps forward, and then feel the weight go into your left foot, leaning forward with the chest. Let your shoulders be pulled back this time. Gaze lifts. One round of breath here. And then slowly stepping out of that tension. Both feet return back, and then let that loop fall. And thank you for playing along with us today. And go ahead, set your reformer back to its starting position, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.